Right, imagine this. You make film after film about saving India. You play soldiers, you play cops, you fight terrorists, you do the whole hand on heart, tear in eye, Jai Hind moment at the end of every single movie. The crowd goes absolutely mental for you. You're on Forbes, you're the highest taxpayer in the country. You are, by every metric, the most patriotic man in Indian cinema. And then someone asks you why you didn't vote in the 2019 general election. And it comes out, mate was Canadian the whole time. Welcome back. If you're new here, we do exactly this kind of thing. We go deep, we look at what people actually said versus what they actually did, and we hold it up to the light. And today's subject, Akshay Kumar. Known as Khiladi Kumar, he started waking up early and came to Mumbai with nothing, made a whole load of money and became a superstar. And somewhere along the way, quietly, with zero announcement, became a citizen of Canada. Now, Akshay has told this story a few times. His version goes like this. He had 14 flop films in a row. Career was done. He thought he'd have to go to Canada and get a job there. Started the process. Then, miracle of miracles, 2 films came out and smashed it. He stayed, forgot about Canada, just kept the passport, no biggie. That's a nice story, isn't it? Except basically nothing about it adds up properly. Let's actually look at the timeline, because this is where it gets very, very interesting.
Lying ass bitch.
So Akshay says, and he said this in multiple interviews, right? This isn't a one-off. He says there was a point where he had 14 consecutive flop films, back-to-back disasters, career finished, producers weren't calling, he was cooked. And honestly, fair enough, that did happen. In a 2018 Forbes India interview, he confirmed it himself. Between about 1997 and 1999, he was absolutely in the toilet at the box office. We're talking films like Nazar Ke Samne and Saput, film after film after film that nobody watched. That era was genuinely hairy for him. You know what I mean. He went from being the Khiladi action king to basically being invisible. And then, again, this is actually real, Hera Fairy came out in 2000, Janwar in 1999, Dudgun in 2000, and Akshay was back, bigger than before. So far, so good. Story checks out for that period. But here is the problem. His Canadian citizenship was confirmed in 2011. 2011. Not 1999, not 2000, not during the actual flop era, 2011. When Akshay Kumar was, let's check the scoreboard, was absolutely minted. Let's actually look at what Akshay Kumar was doing in the years just before and around when he got that Canadian citizenship confirmed in 2011. 2007, Namaste London, hit, welcome, super hit. 2008, Singh is King, blockbuster, absolute unit of a film. 2009, The Dana Dan, decent, Kambakt Ishq, money made. 2010, Houseful, hit. 2011, Desi Boys, released that same year, did alright. This man was not struggling. This man was not sitting in his flat eating toast, wondering if he'd have to go stack shelves in Toronto. He was on Forbes. He was the highest earning Bollywood actor on the international list. So what he's describing, the flop era, the desperate times, the I thought I'd have to go work in Canada energy, that was 1997 to 1999, 12 years before his citizenship was confirmed. He's telling a story from a decade earlier and presenting it as the reason for the passport. Now look, maybe he started the process back then. Maybe the wheels were set in motion when he was genuinely scared. That's possible, we'll give him that. But here's the thing, citizenship doesn't just sit in a drawer for 10 years waiting to be collected like a dry cleaning receipt. Something happened, someone made it happen. And that someone had a very famous name. Cast your minds back to 2011, Canadian federal election. Stephen Harper, Conservative Prime Minister, is campaigning hard. He needs votes. Specifically, and this is key, he needs votes in Brampton, Ontario, and the surrounding areas, which just so happen to have enormous Indian and South Asian populations. And who turns up at a Harper campaign rally? Akshay Kumar, on stage, dancing with Harper's wife Loreen, telling everyone how wonderful Harper is. He even, and this is extraordinary, dedicated his film Thank You to Stephen Harper. The film was releasing around that time, and he dedicated it to the Prime Minister of Canada.
Because they're very friendly. I always keep on this, that they're very friendly, and that's why what I loved the first thing when I came in 1995 to shoot a film here, and that's when I decided that I'm going to have a house here one day.
Harper's Conservatives swept Brampton, clean sweep. Shortly after the election, using a little-known section of Canadian law, Section 5 of the Citizenship Act, which allows citizenship to be granted to reward services of an exceptional value to Canada, the Harper government granted Akshay Kumar Canadian citizenship, without the normal residency requirement, without living there for years, without jumping through any of the hoops that normal people have to jump through. Now, former Conservative Minister Tony Clement came out and said this was all above board. He said Akshay had been promoting Canadian tourism and trade for years, carried the Olympic torch in Toronto in 2009, was basically an unofficial ambassador. But then, and Clement actually said this himself, the phrase one unnamed source used was, I think it was, pure and simple, you campaign for me, I'll get you in. That quote is from a Canadian newspaper, and nobody has ever successfully disputed it. And here's the bit that really gets you, right? Because this isn't just some random actor who happened to have a foreign passport. This is Akshay Kumar, the man who made Toilet Ek Prem Qatar to celebrate government sanitation policy. The man who made Rustam, a nationalistic military drama for which he won the National Film Award. The man who made Gold, Kearsarge, Baby, Holiday, A Soldier Is Never Off Duty. Film after film, dripping in Indian patriotism, soldiers, flags, Jai Hind, standing ovations, the whole lot. He was literally selling patriotism as a product and making crores doing it, while holding a passport that required him to swear, and I am not making this up, to bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada. The man was pledging loyalty to the Queen while making films about Indian soldiers dying for their country. And when he interviewed Prime Minister Modi during the 2019 election, a sitting Canadian citizen interviewing an Indian PM asking him about mangoes, the internet absolutely lost its mind. Canada Kumar became the nickname, and it stuck. So how does this end? In 2019, Akshay says he's applied for an Indian passport and will give up the Canadian one. Then COVID hits, everything delays. He says the process is taking time. And then, and even he admitted this timing was a coincidence, on August 15th, 2023, Independence Day, he posts his Indian citizenship page. He posts his Indian citizenship documents on Instagram. Dil or citizenship, dono Hindustani. Heart and citizenship, both Indian. The internet, predictably, went in two directions at once. Half the people were clapping, the other half were pointing out he'd just given up the passport of a first world country because people on Twitter called him names for a decade. And even then, even at the finish line, the trolling didn't stop. Someone pointed out the timing was suspiciously close to India-Canada diplomatic relations going severely south, which, to be fair to Akshay, probably actually was a coincidence. The man can't catch a break even when he does the right thing. So where does that leave us? The flop story? Partially true, but the timing doesn't match the citizenship being granted. The honorary claim? Flat out false. Caught on camera, fact-checked, done. The Harper deal? Almost certainly a political arrangement. The Conservative minister basically said as much. Was Akshay lying about why he really held on to Canada? Almost certainly, yes. Whether it was tax reasons, a backup plan, the mansion in Oakville, something was going on beyond cargo work with a mate in Toronto. But in the end, he gave it up. Paid his taxes in India the whole time. He was consistently the highest individual taxpayer in the country, which is a mad flex when you think about it. The question is just, why did it take until 2023? And why couldn't he just tell the truth from the beginning? As always, no idea, but it was worth looking into. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. Drop a comment. Do you think Akshay was genuinely planning to move to Canada, or was the whole thing always about convenience? See you in the next one.